For the video component of this assignment, I am going to be describing my activities that I have to assess learning. Now, my lesson is a math lesson. It is geared toward those students who are in the formal operational stage of learning, such as high school. And the first activity that I have planned is a little field exercise. So what students will do is they will go out, locate a tree either on school grounds or maybe there's a forest setting that they can go to. But they will locate a tree and they will measure the circumference of that tree. Now, I have requested that they use a measuring tape like this or any other kind of measuring tape they wish to use, but I do not want them to use a DBH tape because what I'm going to ask them to do next is calculate both the diameter and the radius from that circumference reading that they took. And I will be assessing whether or not they can do those calculations. The next thing I've asked them to do is using an increment board, extract a sample from that tree. Now again, since this is a math lesson, I'm not assessing them on their technique necessarily with the increment board, although that is something we will go over prior to completing this exercise. So once students have obtained their sample, they're going to calculate the tree age, remembering to add 4 years for that pith. Once they've gotten that tree age, I've asked them to record their data, of course, and then I've asked them a series of questions. Now, the first question is, let's assume that the tree grows at the same rate per year. About how much in diameter is that tree growing per year? And they can do this by simply taking the diameter at breast height that they've calculated and dividing it by the age of the tree. The next thing I've asked them is, let's say we come back in 5 years. Using that growth rate per year that they just calculated, if they were to take another measurement at breast height, what would that diameter be? And again, I'm going to be assessing them on their ability to master those mathematical concepts. Now, the second activity I have planned is just a little worksheet, and it's pretty much the same thing. I've given them a little background information that, let's say John is going out and he wants to determine what the age of the tree is. He measures the tree to be 45 inches in circumference, and then I've asked them again to calculate the diameter and the radius of that tree. And then let's say that John takes a sample, and I've shown them a picture of said sample. Their students are going to be asked to calculate how old that tree is. And then again, I've asked students to determine the growth rate per year, assuming that the tree does grow at the same rate per year. And then again, I've asked them, if John were to come back in 2 years, what would that diameter at breast height be? After 5 years, what would that diameter at breast height be? And then I've asked them another question to go along with this worksheet. I've said, if John wants to determine the age of a tree that is 72 inches in circumference, can he use his 10-inch increment board to extract a sample and be able to count those rings and get an accurate age? Now, I'm really looking for students to recognize that if John's tree is 72 inches in circumference, that increment board is not going to be able to reach the pith of that tree. So he's going to have to do a few more calculations to determine what the age of that tree actually is.